Hello and welcome to AMG Time And Attendance system video tutorial. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to shift section, which is the fifth menu item of definitions. The window of shift section has two lists, the list of shift groups and the list of individual shifts. Shift groups are intended for grouping some shifts together, in order several shifts can be assigned to one employee. Shift section is intended to view, add, edit, and delete shift groups and their shifts. Shift groups table has the following properties. The columns can be hidden and displayed again. The order of the columns can be changed. The list can be filtered by some criteria, and you can generate a report of shifts. First of all, you should add a shift group by pressing Add button. If you already have another shift group, then you will be asked if you want to copy data from an existing record. If you want the shift group to have the same values as one of the existing shift groups, click on Yes button. Then choose the shift group which you want to copy, and press OK. If you decide not to copy, press Cancel. Each shift group has the following fields: code and name, which are required. By default, the shift group is active, but you can also set it inactive by disabling this checkbox. By enabling or disabling Flex checkbox, you decide the type of the shift group. If not enabled, then the type of the shift group is fixed, which means that employees who work with this shift group are supposed to have fixed start and stop times. If Flex checkbox is enabled, then the type of the shift group is flexible, which means that for the employees who work with this shift group, it is only important to work the defined amount of hours. It doesn't matter at all when they start working. Each shift group can also have rounding rules. If you want to apply any rounding, select the combo boxes corresponding in out, outside, lunch, and break rounding rules. More about rounding rules, purpose, and configuration you can find in AMG Attendance system video tutorial rounding rules. Also here you can enable using differentials by selecting Use Differentials checkbox. If using differentials, you can define some hours in a day for which employees will be paid with a different wage, usually at a higher rate. Differentials will apply only to hourly calculated salary wage types. To set up a differential, click on Add button. In Add Differentials window, choose the weekdays and the hours, which must be made differently. Then enter the amount to be added to the employee's hourly wage, if you select Add Action. Or, if you select Multiply Action, enter the coefficient to be multiplied by employee's hourly wage. At the end, press OK. After all, click on the OK button to save the added shift group. Now, when you have added a shift group, you can already add a shift within the group. For that, select the shift group in which the shift must be added and click on Add button from the second list of the window. Here you must fill in some information about the shift. Shift code. Enter the code of the shift, which must be unique. Start, stop. Enter the start and the stop times of the shift, but note that these options will be active only in case shift group is fixed. Cutoff. This value is intended for those employees who are assigned to a floating shift, which means that the employee can work by any shift of the shift group. The system uses this value to find the shift closest to the employee's clocking time and to assign the employee to that shift. If the employee's clocking time is after the cutoff, the system moves down the list to compare with the next shift of the same shift group. Note that the cutoff value must be higher than the stop time of the previous shift, but note that it can be higher than the start from the next shift. Access restrictions fields are visible only when in General Settings window, Enable Device Access Restrictions from Shifts checkbox is selected. This option you are recommended to use if you have access control devices connected to your system and want to restrict access to those devices based on shift hours. For that, here you should enter start and end times of the period during which employee can have access to the devices. Note that for flex shifts and floater schedule, these values are not used. Latches breaks value is generated automatically after adding latches and breaks, but shows the sum of their durations. It's not editable, and its value can be entered manually. More about latch break configuration you can find in AMG Time And Attendance system video tutorial Latches and Breaks. Total value shows the total duration of the shift's working time. If the shift is fixed, then it is calculated by subtracting the latches breaks total duration from the gross value. If shift is flexible, then the total value is being entered manually. Assign worked hours to. Options are mainly intended for those employees who work over midnight. This assumes that clock in and clock out dates of those employees are different. If clock in date option is chosen, then worked hours will be assigned to the day when the employee clocked in. If clock hour date option is chosen, then worked hours will be assigned to the day when the employee clocked out. Latch AMG max value defines the maximum possible duration of latch when swipe and go is used. Break AMG max value defines the maximum possible duration of break when swipe and go is used. Note that those options will be inactive in case use swipe and go function is disabled from the general settings. After configuring all those settings, press OK to save the shift.